No.
Right, welcome back, and of course right now we're having a discussion about the Postal Service, and with us in studio is Elizabeth Mwaura. She's the General Manager, Courier and Parcel Services. Have I said that correctly?
Courier and Parcels.
Parcel Services, yeah. Right. Looked like it was written in French though. Anyway, welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Now, there's a lot going on in the Postal, let me say, Postal Service, Postal Office.
Yeah.
And we want to look at those changes right now. I know there's a lot to speak about.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the changes right now that are happening there. You know, of course, remembering the past where people were talking about the Postal Office and having a lot of confidence in it.
Right.
But right now, there are a lot of changes. Tell us about that.
Okay. Well, for a long time now, people have talked about the post office is going to be obsolete. The letter, you know, people just look at the post office as though it's just the letter writing. But apparently, the post office has three businesses in there. We've got the letter writing, which is true, what people are saying, and that is the social writing that has been taken over by SMS and all that electronic media. But then we have the other side, which is the courier services, which is actually what I had within the post office. And this is a movement of parcels everywhere, within and internationally as well. And then we have the other one, which is the financial and agency services. And this is where, you know, we are like the super agent, if you want, where you come in, we partner with people like the power and lighting, water services, and people paying their water bills and electricity bills within the post office. Along with that as well is, of course, we're looking at partnering with the banks as well, because what we've done is we've invested in a platform where you're able to, it's a switching mechanism where you're able to come in and do withdrawals and deposits. So we are also
using
partnering with banks.
The postal office, of
Yes,
course, in collection.
Yes, we have invested as a post office, the platform that allows all that mechanism of the withdrawals and deposits. And so now the banks are coming in and signing in with us. So there's quite a lot of things going on.
And
so
how will that be working?
What happens is that, of course, we go into a negotiation with the banks, and then we get integrated together. And then that way, for example, right now we're working with the Kenya Commercial Bank. So if you're a customer of Kenya Commercial Bank, you can come into the post office and do a withdrawal or a deposit. Insurance agencies as well. Actually, what is happening with the post office now is everybody's seeing us as a super agent, as it were, because a lot of companies do not want to go out and do the brick and mortar. So, and because we have this large network, then, you know, we sign up together and we are able to do the services for them and, you know, exchange commissions.
Okay. And I know you also have initiatives which you're coming up with, and also that which are also there. Tell us a bit about that. Okay.
For example, in the last few months, you've heard about the Huduma services. This is the Ministry of Devolution coming and bringing in government ministries and agencies within the post office. So, for instance, now, if you want to renew your driver's license, you can go to a post office and do that. That takes away all the queues that were at KRA or even the other partner, which was the National Bank of Kenya. NHIF, same thing. If you want an identity card, again, you come into the post office. So very exciting things. And a lot of people have often asked, very convenient as well, because if you think about our post offices domestic, it's very, very huge. Now, a lot of people asked questions about, what about the young footsteps? How do we get the youth there? Because, you know, the youth today do not write letters.
Exactly. So techie, you know, there's SMS, Twitter, WhatsApp, all those things.
Exactly. But on becoming 18, you do now need to go and get an identity card. And the best place to go is your nearest post office. So it's working very well. And when they come in to do the government services, we also talk to them about the other services that we have. Money order services, paying of electricity bills, you know, and the various other products in there. Courier services is also very, very large, as you might know. It's a huge market within, within Kenya. And we also talk to them about that. In fact, the Huduma, the ministries and the agencies that are actually using the agency services within the post office, many of them are also now contracting the courier services. So it is growing, it is bringing in a lot of questions, and we're enjoying the opportunities that are actually coming with it.
As someone who's working, of course, in the postal service, can you really say that letter writing is completely dead? People don't write letters anymore.
To be honest, if you look at the first world countries, the US, maybe Australia and places like that, there's a lot of writing that's going on. But what we are seeing is corporate mail is what is happening. Because your bank will always send you the statement, you know, your credit card receipt, and the the electricity people will always send you the bill, although they are going electronic. So yes, the corporate mail may be growing to a certain extent, but the social mail, this is the hello, you know, I love you sort of letter, that's what's really coming down.
It's really coming down. Okay, then. And can the youth still, you know, get in and of course offer this governmental services, or is the intake done, or are you still taking more people?
Well, as you know, the staff complement is about 3,500 at the moment. And what we're doing, like for instance, when we sign out with a ministry and they want us to do the services for them, then they undertake the training of our people a lot of times. Like I know the county of Nairobi, for instance, we are the ones taking up the payments that are coming through. So yes, our people are also getting a lot of training so that they're able to be electronic and actually do the services for the ministries and all.
Right.
So bringing in a lot of foot legs into the post office. Just this morning as I was coming here, I actually looked at the one at the teleposter, and you know, for a long time there were never queues on that post office. And it was really happy to see, you know, the young people coming in to do their business, and the old as well. And the convenience that you don't have to go and queue in Sharia House and places like that.
Can I actually go there?
You can actually go there.
Very convenient.
Yeah, and they're rolling out. They have, until the end of June, they're looking at having about 10 of them running. Right now they're in, they're in Teleposta Towers, which is run by the post office, City Square, there's Tomboya, there's Madaraka, so it's spreading out, and I think it's a very good thing that this new government is doing actually to decentralize those services.
Okay, and I think one thing we need to understand is, you know, the postal mandate and obligations. Most of the time we get it all mixed up, and some people are not even updated as to what the new services are. They're still back, you know, wondering, well, what can the postal service really help me with, you know? So I think it's very, you know, good if you'd made that very clear on the mandate and obligations, so that people who are not at par with what's happening currently, they can be at par.
I think when the post office first started, the mandate is really to give communication rights to the citizens of Kenya. Now, communication on rights, if you look at it way back, would probably mean writing that letter. But as time has gone on and technology has come in, that is really, really changing. And so even the post office, we really have to look at ourselves and wonder, is this mandate still serving us as it should? Or do we need to change it to be able to, you know, to offer these other services? Because otherwise, if we remain where we were 10, 15, 20 years ago, then obviously, you know, it will be overtaken by events. So yes, it is something we'll be looking at, because the original mandate was just to give postal services and financial services, that is the money order. And you can see how, say, M-Pesa has really come in paying school fees for children. We only still had the money order. So what we're doing now is just changing that into an electronic format, you know, just to make it work a lot better. And so, yeah, the mandate we must look at as we move forward. But certainly we are becoming very, very electronic driven, just so that we are able to offer services
and keep up with the changing times.
Because that's what it's really all about.
Right. Yeah. And what are some of the challenges that you experience?
Okay, like any other business, if you're starting a little later than everybody else, you have to run that much faster. So competition is one of the areas actually where it's not really a challenge. It's just that we need to work a lot faster so that we're competing at the same level in quality services, speed of delivery of that service. But the real key challenge would be, because of our mandate, giving citizens of Kenya communication rights. It's actually a universal obligation, and it means we need to be like in literally everywhere in Kenya. I tell you, for instance, at the moment, the UPU, which is the Universal Postal Union that gives the mandate to the postal corporations, talks about communication. The ratio is 6,000 people to a post office. In Kenya right now, we are at 60,000 people to one post office. Now that's a challenge, because it means you need to go out and open up. But I think going forward, it will have to be the agency. We look at agency post offices, because that's what makes sense, because there isn't the capital to go and open all the post offices. The other thing with the post office, of course, is that since we started off, we have been a self-running institution, if you wish, in the sense that we do not go to the exchequer to get any money from them. And so it becomes quite a bit of a challenge if we have to expand as quickly to offer that ratio of 6,000 to 100 post office. That really is the key issue. And I think through our regulator, CAK, the Communication Authority of Kenya, we're looking at the funding of how they can fund us as we grow into those larger areas.
When you're looking at the way forward, what time period is this? Like you said, we now need to look at agencies because the capital of getting to establish more postal offices around will be very expensive. So what will be the way forward? And when you're looking at timing, exactly when should we expect some of these changes?
Yeah, I think what you'll begin to see is a lot of partnerships, because that is another thing that is being we're encouraged to do, creating private partnerships. So that is ongoing as I speak to you right now. And in fact, of the total network of probably 600 post offices, about 120 of them are agency post offices. On the side of the courier services, we are partnering with other agencies as well, or other courier companies, to be able to sell our international products as well. So it is happening as we go forward, but of course it's going to take a while. It's not going to be like tomorrow you wake up and there's post offices everywhere. We're branding post office. So it is in our strategic plan that by the end of our new strategic plan, which started 2013 and ends 2016, that is one of the things that we'll be evaluating as we go along to ensure that we're in many more places.
Okay. Yeah. I know you've mentioned a lot of successes that you've been able to achieve, but if you can sum them all together, what could you say are the biggest milestones that you've had, since, of course, taking charge of the changes that have been happening at the postal office?
I think if you look at the post office many years ago, it was generally a very manual operation. Everything was pass this paper to the other person. Today, technology has really kicked in. I mean, to the extent that we are even on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is...
What's the handle?
It's a Posta Kenya.
At Posta Kenya.
At Posta Kenya. And Facebook as well, the Postal Corporation of Kenya. So those are some of the things that we've done. When you look at now the platform that we're using for the banking agency, that is another new thing that we've come up with and that we're working along with. So generally it's the technology. We are also doing our ERP, the enterprise planning system, where again we want to be able to monitor on-time transactions within the post office, across all the post offices. That is a project that is ongoing, and we're looking at probably by end of June, early financial year starts in July, we should be able to start doing some of those transactions. So generally, it's really the technology. This is what has come to change the post office in a very large way.
And have you created awareness that more people know that these are the services, that the postal office has? Because like I said earlier on, some people are still stuck on the perception of what the postal office used to be and not the new services that it actually has. So do you go around, maybe spreading word, creating awareness here and there, or how exactly are you going forward in letting people know that these are the new services? We are on technology right now, and we're savvy, so you should take up this new mantle.
Well, interesting. For the first time, the post office has actually got a regional office that is created in the field of selling. So we do have people walking in door to door to talk about our services. I mean, you're in the media industry, and you know how expensive it can be sometimes to be on television and places like this. So we are using our people, actually retraining our people, and they're going out and meeting customers, and really just saying it. Once in a while, you see us on the print media talking about the services that we're offering. Of course, perceptions are things that cannot be changed overnight, and it is something that takes time. But we are certainly seeing a lot of response. Posta, the brand Posta, is a trusted brand. So we're seeing a lot of requests coming in, people asking to partner with us. I mean, and you're talking about what? From NGOs to banks, to the government. Government is a big customer of post office. So yeah, our word of mouth advertising is coming on along. We also do a lot of sponsorships as well. So those are some of the medias that we're using in terms of communicating. And as time goes by, perhaps we'll be able to run advertising all through the medias Yeah.
Okay. Right now, so what are the final words? What would you like people to know, especially about, you know, what handling their matters using the postal service?
Yes.
Because as we wind up, they just need to understand, you know, like you said, technology, Huduma services, and, you know, they should be looking at newspapers more, go to Twitter. What would you like to tell them?
I think what I'd like to tell Kenyans is that there is a service here that is affordable within the post office. We do have a website that people can log into, and all the services have actually been put in there. So depending on what you're looking for, and in our website actually, we cover all our contacts, you know, regionally as well as the telephone numbers. And so we have a service, whether it's a parcel you want to move from here to anywhere in the world, it is there. And actually it is quite competitive compared to what is offered in the market. If it is letters, there we are. If it is a company, for instance, that wants to come in and expand its network, the post office is here.
And what's the name of the website?
It's www.posta.post, www.posta.co.ke.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that they can log into.
www.posta.co.ke.
Yeah, and that's the one you go into, and then there's all the services there lined up, depending on what you're looking for. The other thing I'd like to say is about e-commerce. E-commerce is a big thing that is happening internationally. I mean, like in Europe, I was reading some statistics that almost like 37% of the sales are actually done online. Now, here in Kenya, we're trying to catch up with it. But like, for instance, I read in one of the Facebook pages that one lady was trying to say how Posta should try and use all the post offices in terms of delivery of the consignments. Actually, her problem was that she buys something online, it's delivered to her house. She buys something else from another retailer, delivered to her house. Is she secure? You know, because of the insecurity.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is to offer online and say deliver to the post office. Because when, you know, the post office is a landmark that is almost everywhere. So you buy from the supermarket and then it's delivered to a post office and then you go and collect it from there.
Okay,
so, and that works very, very well because, again, people do not want to have all retailers sometimes knowing exactly where they live.
And coming at the door.
Exactly. And then also we've got the problem of addressing system where, like, for instance, you're sitting here and you order something online and you're somewhere in Buruburu or someplace and we actually don't know the street addressing. So this is something that is going to work very well.
Okay.
And I know the young people are really into e-commerce. So you buy on there, it's delivered to the post office.
And then you go pick it up.
And then you go and pick it up.
Okay, then.
Yeah, so
well, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for coming in today and, of course, sharing that information with us. I'm sure now our young people or anyone who has a business and they would like to get transactions done, they'll be able to visit the website that is www.posta.co.ke. Yes,
right,
go to the website, know of the new services, and, of course, read the print media, and you can also get information on that. And if you'd like to ask anything, SMS us on 20001. We'll be able to contact Elizabeth, and, of course, you'll be able to give us more information on whatever query or question you may have. Well, thank you so much for watching K24 Alpha Jury. My name is Remy Majala, and our guest has been Elizabeth Mwaura. She's the General Manager, Courier and Parcel Services at Posta. So, of course, she's given us solutions. Thank you for watching, and anything you may want to ask, please do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.